sitting at 10 and 2. Remember, Barich currently in 16th. He and Hawkins on those monster win streaks.
Yeah.
For Juliano, he's 15th in the 2016 standings. It's going to be a tough game one for Barich. He is on a mulligan to 5 cards here, which against Jund is always a concern.
Right. There's very few decks that have a reasonable position on a Mola 5 against Jund, and here is exactly why.
Yeah, you sometimes keep a 5 hoping for some synergy, and Jund is going to tear that apart. Turn 1, swamp into Inquisition of Kozilek for Christopher Juliano, and now he sees what he's up against. For Barich, we have a Dryad Arbor, a Inkmoth Nexus, Vines of Vastwood, Groundswell, and Noble Hierarch.
This is actually a really good 5. There's a lot to like about this hand, but going one fewer card.
Yeah, I don't know if I like them all to 4.
Specifically being in this matchup.
You look at Juliano's got a Lightning Bolt here in hand as well. Decide just what he wants to take. There's only one, well, I was going to say there's only one creature in Aaron's hand. I suppose there are 2 if we count the creature land.
Yeah, true enough. I like taking one of the spells here and just using the Lightning Bolt on the Noble Hierarch.
Juliano's going to do just that, and to make sure it hits, he's going to go ahead and take Vines of Vastwood.
Yeah, Vines in particular, I like taking, so it can block a lot of interactive spells.
So correction here, it's not Dryad, that's actually a Pendelhaven. So there's no other creature. Noble Hierarch played off Pendelhaven. For Tarmogoyf is the turn 2 play for Juliano. It's currently a 3/4. We have instant sorcery and land.
That got big fast.
Yeah, that thought season to Tarmogoyf plan from Jund.
That one's been good for a few years.
Play is Inkmoth Nexus from Barich. He has since picked up a Twisted Image.
Not castable off of these lands, not good if castable.
You see, if you look at Barich paging through his hand, some of his cards are upside down. What he's tracking here is he's keeping track of which cards Juliano has seen and which ones he doesn't know about.
Yeah, I like that quite a bit. It would actually drive me a little bit insane looking at my cards like that, but it's a good method there. And
here's why I love the aggressive play from Barich. You see that turn 2, he just attacks with Noble Hierarch into the Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, the old Doomblade Groundswell.
Yeah, and okay. Juliano blocks, and Aaron will Groundswell to remove the Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, I can kill the Tarmogoyf, or the Tarmogoyf can kill me. I like that attack.
Raging Ravine from Juliano, and now he'll play Scavenging Ooze. Pass back the turn. Spellskite's the pickup for Barich. Twisted Image, Spellskite, one other in his hand.
So Spellskite is a super good pickup here, assuming that Juliano has conditional removal like Lightning Bolt. It forces him to have things like Terminate and Abrupt Decay.
Gitaxian Probe from Barich will show Juliano's remaining cards. It's a Lightning Bolt, a Liliana of the Veil, and a Kalitas, trader to get.
The Liliana is problematic here. The Lightning Bolt is pretty easily dealt with by the Spellskite, but the Liliana specifically, of course, Juliano is going to need a second Blast Source to get that into play.
Exactly. He cannot cast the Kalitas or the Liliana on his current lands. It's a long shot, but Aaron can play hoping that Juliano will brick on the Black Source. And you see Juliano casting Barich casting Wild Defiance with this turn. This is a one of in the main deck for Barich.
Yeah. And so now he has Wild Defiance plus Twisted Image in his hand, or Spellskite Twisted Image in his hand. And he has Noble Hierarch to make blue mana for the Twisted Image.
Wow.
So this is a pretty cool interaction.
Yeah.
So Wild Defiance will trigger any time that Spellskite is targeted by a spell.
By a spell, right. Now, if you change a target onto Spellskite, you don't get a Wild Defiance trigger because it wasn't cast targeting it. I don't believe. We'll double check on that one.
Yeah, I would check on that.
Scavenging Ooze eats away the Tarmogoyf and attacks in. Barich drops to 15.
For now, we'll try the poison plan.
I think instead, he's going to attack with Inkmoth Nexus. It exalts up to a 2/2. He Twisted Images it up. That'll make it a 5/5. And 5 poison under Juliano. And one thing I want to back up to is how impressive it is that with Barich getting that trade of the Noble Hierarch for the Tarmogoyf has changed the contour of this game. If Juliano has Tarmogoyf into Scavenging Ooze, he can race from this position.
Yeah.
But he's not able to do it. And Juliano draws Blackleaf Cliffs for the turn, but it's going to come into play tapped. And Barich has it. Game 1 on the mull to 5 after getting Thought Seized. Aaron Barich up 1-0.
And that attack with the Hierarch is really great by Barich. He decides he doesn't want the Tarmogoyf on the table. If you're Juliano, maybe you're just supposed to take that 1 damage. It's pretty low cost, right?
Those are the kind of plays that are unique to Aaron Barich, which I think really shows off his skill at these aggressive pump spell decks.
Yeah, the impressive thing is that he got Juliano to call.
Right. That is, yeah, and we're not, is it the technically strongest play? I'm not sure, but there's a lot of good, yeah.
Giuliano's sitting there and he's saying, I'm not going to take a damage that I don't have to. You're not going to get me. And
yeah.
Well, he pretty much got caught by blocking.
Wow. All right, well, let's look at the sideboard. So Christopher Giuliano down a game. His sideboard, 2 Knight of Soul's Betrayal, 2 Ancient Grudge, 1 Shatterstorm, 2 Grafdigger's Cage, 2 Fulminator Mage, 1 Kitchen Finks, 1 Courser of Krufix, 1 Grim Lavamancer, 1 Duress, 1 Huntmaster of the Fells, and 1 Pulse of Marasa.
Lavamancer is very solid, very efficient way to deal with these infectors. There's some argument for Fulminator Mage to deal with Inkmoth Nexus specifically. That's pretty solid. Duress is pretty alright against these infect decks, and I like Knight of Soul's Betrayal here. Once you get that in play, most of the infect creatures are just blanks. You'll just mess up basically every card in Barich's deck. So I like Knight of Soul's Betrayal quite a bit, especially on the play when you can get that out there. And for Barich's side, he's got a pretty spicy sideboard. There's 2 Thing in the Ice hanging out, 3 Kitchen Finks, 2 Twisted Image, 2 Dispel, 2 Nature's Claim, a Dismember, a Spellskite, a Spell Pierce, and a Grafdigger's Cage. I don't think this is a Thing in the Ice matchup for as much as I would love to see that one coming in here. The opponent is going to just be lean on removal in this matchup, so mostly we're looking at the 2 copies of Dispel, probably that Spellskite, good chance for the Spell Pierce just to have efficient interaction with your opponent's stuff on your own terms there. Now, I would not be upset to see Thing in the Ice come in here. It would be pretty awesome. Thing in the Ice is one of the cooler cards printed in recent times, but I think it's unlikely that we'll be able to see it. And hopefully for Barich fans, he's able to keep a hand with more than 5 cards going into these sideboard games, though he was able to steal that one anyway.
Yeah. Well, these guys are getting ready for Game 2. We're going to take a second to talk you through Star City Games game night. So as we near the end of June, this means this week is going to be your last chance to get a copy of the wonderful blue Otter Wizard of Otter spell. You get these collectors pins and tokens. They are now available as prizes for weekly tournaments that Star City Games game night. So this month is the Otter spell. It's going to be your last chance to get it. Next month, we are going to switch over to another great aquatic creature. This is the Snipcaster Mage. Little crab 2/1C with, of course, the glove flashing back spells from your graveyard. He'll be given away in July, and if your store signs up now, we can get you signed up in time for August, and that will be the Young Burrowmancer, the donkey there that's also an elemental. He's the 1/1 token and pin, so you can get these and more. Find out a location near you or get signed up at starcgames.com/game night. All right, so we have a ruling here, actually. So if a trigger, if Spellskite steals a spell, it actually, with the wording of Wild Defiance, the Spellskite does pump off it.
Yeah, I was pretty sure that was the case, but you rocked my confidence.
All right, it's when it becomes the target. It's yeah, it's not a cast trigger. It has to do with when it becomes a target. And Spellskite can actually attack.
Sure can.
It is a 0.
That is not a defender.
It's not a defender.
The horror of being attacked by Spellskite.
Raging Ravine from Juliano, turn 1. From Barich, we just get a Misty Rainforest. Turn 2 from Juliano, shocks down to 18 for a Blood Crypt. Now he'll be first on the board. This is starting with Inquisition of Kozilek. I like this a lot. You see his follow-up is going to be a Grim Lavamancer, most likely. Barich, though, he'll Spell Pierce away the Inquisition.
I like that Pierce a lot. You might want to sandbag it for something like a Liliana for an interactive stack, but I love concealing the information here. It makes it so much harder for the Jund player to play the game.
Lavamancer now for Juliano.
Ooh, and we do have Thing in the Ice in Barich's hand. It is a Thing in the Ice matchup.
Lavamancer that. Thing in the Ice now played by Aaron Barich, 4 counters on it. I was going to say Aaron it's very hard for him to commit a creature into Grim Lavamancer, but this one's just fine.
Oh, yes.
The pickup from Juliano draws an Abrupt Decay for the turn.
Boo!
Grim Lavamancer will attack. A nice bluff of Lightning Bolt, and Aaron's not going to call it, so he'll take a damage. Tarmogoyf from Juliano, no third land. We're back to Barich. He will cast Gataxian Probe, paying 2 life. Thing in the Ice down to 3 counters.
Ugh.
Slaughter Pact, Knight of Souls Betrayal, and Abrupt Decay. These are some monster cards to have against the Infect deck.
Yeah, the Abrupt Decay can take care of the Thing in the Ice, and then despite the fact that the Knight of Souls Betrayal will kill Juliano's own Grim Lavamancer, it pretty much stops Barich from being able to play the game.
That's card one of the trumps against the Infect deck. Now Juliano's stuck on 2 lands, so...
Yeah, he does have to draw lands.
We did see last game, the lack of black mana really cost Juliano the game.
Yeah.
We'll see how Barich wants to follow up. See Become Immense at the front of his hand. Looks like he has also boarded in some of his copies of Kitchen Finks in this matchup. So Thing in the Ice and Kitchen Finks both in. This is a very interesting game plan from Barich.
Yeah, he just figures the Jund deck's going to be so committed to killing threats. Just put as many threats as you have access to, and seeing the Knight of Souls Betrayal certainly makes this sideboard strategy look very good. So
he had the option of Kitchen Finks there, but he instead goes to activate the Inkmoth Nexus and puts 1 poison onto Juliano. Juliano untaps. He's going to attempt to Abrupt Decay the Thing in the Ice. Aaron's going to fetch in response. He may not allow that.
If there's Vines here, this is pretty significant.
It looks like it's Apostle's Blessing.
That'll do, too.
That'll do. So Thing in the Ice now down to 2 counters.
And especially with Juliano choked on lands, this Thing in the Ice coming out of the ice, that's pretty significant.
Yeah, there is still that Slaughter Pact in Juliano's hand. But you're right, if Aaron makes a 7-8 next turn, could be problematic. You see Christopher plays an Overgrown Tomb and passes, so he could Slaughter Pact if he needs to.
Yeah, he'd want to do that before it flips over so he's not stuck tapping his mana down with these creatures back in his hand.
Right. Looking back at Barich, he knows that Juliano is 1 land away from Knight of Souls Betrayal.
Yeah, and with the Black Source showing up last turn, it could be any land. Raging Ravine would be the worst land that Juliano could draw, but it still gets him there in a turn cycle.
Blighted Agent, Become Immense, Inkmoth Nexus, they're all in Barich's hand. Plays Inkmoth. See Finks there as well. He will activate the Inkmoth Nexus that can attack. Put some poison onto Juliano. We'll see if he Become Immenses here, and he does. Delves 4 away, so this will be 7 more poison. That'll put Christopher up to 8.
We'll see if he remembers to remove a counter from the Thing in the Ice. There he goes.
Down to... I think he's actually deciding if he wants to remove a counter.
It might be that Juliano is saying that the trigger is on the stack.
Okay. Juliano should... He does have to be concerned about that. If he tries to Slaughter Pact it, Aaron has some 0-mana spells that could flip it in response.
Yep.
I'm interested to see whether or not what he wants to do that.
The line that he's taken here, he takes the poison, goes up to 8 here. What he wants to do, find the land for Knight of Souls Betrayal, still have the Slaughter Pact up to deal with the Thing on the Ice. If you cast a Slaughter Pact on that turn, then you wouldn't be able to cast Knight of Souls Betrayal on this turn. And if you can't cast a Knight of Souls Betrayal, you're probably not beating double Inkmoth Nexus anyway.
Instant sorcery. So Slaughter Pact can actually hit an Inkmoth Nexus. Juliano could have tried for that last turn, but was concerned. I think he's committed to saving that for Thing in the Ice.
Yeah, if he found the land, the Knight of Souls Betrayal would just stop him from ever getting poisoned in this game.
Yeah.
I like the line that he took, though. He bricked on the land, and looks like that could end up costing him this game.
Plays another Tarmogoyf, leaves up enough mana for Grim Lavamancer. Passes over. Juliano's at 8 poison. There are 2 Inkmoth Nexus on Barich's side of the board. Tempting indeed. There's a Thing in the Ice on 1 counter. But Aaron only has, his hand is Misty Rainforest, Kitchen Finks, Blighted Agent, Become Immense. So the only way he can make that Thing in the Ice flip is by using the Become Immense.
When you Twisted Image, the counter comes off with the Twisted Image on the stack, so the Thing in the Ice would flip over. Oh, that's the wrong blue card. Yep.
He has Blighted Agent. Twisted Image would be great, though. Yeah, that would work.
Definitely read that one wrong.
So Misty Rainforest. Aaron will start out on the land. Sacrifice, go down to 8. He's done enough damage to himself off cards like Gataxian Probe and Apostle's Blessing and Breeding Pool that Aaron has start. The counter swing from Juliano has to be a concern here.
Yeah, and he's going for Kitchen Finks here. He's decided that he just can't deal with this much interactive stuff for a proactive game plan.
Sure, Kitchen Finks, Blighted Agent. He's going to play out the creatures.
And now he's just forcing Juliano to have the land for that Knight of Soul's Betrayal.
Juliano is going to go ahead and use Grim Lavamancer to shoot the Kitchen Finks.
And once again, Juliano is playing to that Knight of Soul's Betrayal. If he draws it this turn, it'll take the Kitchen Finks down along with the Blighted Agent.
Tarmogoyf back down to a 2/3 now as the only sorcery was exiled.
Ooh, I think that Juliano picked up Blackcleave Cliffs, which is...
That's
so gross.
There's the 4th land, kind of. Tapped.
And now this is just a really awkward spot. You know, once again, Barich will be untapping with the 2 Inkmoth Nexus as potential attackers. Now he has Blighted Agent on top of it. If Juliano uses the Slaughter Pact, he won't be able to cast Knight of Soul's Betrayal on the following turn.
So keep in mind that Tarmo die at the top of the screen right now is incorrect. The Tarmogoyfs are 2/3s, but as it's not actually part of the game state, if the players have it at the wrong number, as coverage here, we will not correct it to the right number, but the die will tell you that it's wrong, but the players have to... You know, it is Christopher's responsibility to know how big his creatures are.
Yeah. There's a reason that when I play with Tarmogoyf, I don't use any visual aid to...
Don't want to coach your opponent.
I don't want to coach my opponent. I also don't want to display wrong information to myself.
Sure. So Juliano plays the Blackcleave Cliffs and passes. Now we go over to Barich. Become Immense is cast. This is going to try to remove that last counter from Thing in the Ice. He's got to go for it because he knows Knight of Soul's Betrayal is hitting next turn.
And he taps down both Inkmoth Nexus to cast that spell. That's kind of a curious thing.
Yeah, Become Immense. It looks like it's targeting the Awoken Horror now, too. So this will flip into a 7/8. It will bounce all the other creatures. Well, these are non-horror creatures.
So we have an oof, and Blighted Agent is some kind of nonsense. Not a horror, I guess.
An attack for 13 from the Awoken Horror. Juliano will take it and go to 5. Blighted Agent is cast. Very close. I think Aaron picked up a Vines of Vastwood. He almost was able to survive there to win that turn. And Juliano is going to cast Knight of Soul's Betrayal. That removes all the Infectors. He's banking on this Slaughter Pact to save him. You see what? And he's going to go ahead and Slaughter Pact. This is a great play. Does it right now before Aaron can untap.
Well, Barich knew about Slaughter Pact and cast Blighted Agent to tap himself out with Vines in hand anyway.
Okay, so had Barich left up the mana...
Yeah, he would have won on this turn.
It's a big misstep. I think so. He'll play Kitchen Finks, gain 2, but that Kitchen Finks is just a 2/1. Juliano pays for his pact. Verdant Catacombs is the play. Yeah, I think you're right.
And for the Infect deck, there's no realistic way he's getting this Knight of Soul's Betrayal off the table. There's 2 sideboard Nature's Claims. I would be very surprised if those were in the deck.
Seal of Fire is the play for Christopher Juliano. He'll use it to hit Kitchen Finks. Aaron will Vines the Kitchen Finks. Trying to get that extra damage in. If he can draw a pump spell, he can. He's going to Vines it again. And that's game and match for Barich. A
Wow.
6-point swing from the 2-1 Kitchen Finks is enough to seal the deal. And you can see him shaking his head. He knows that there was a misstep there on his side, but he's able to recover and take down the match.
Yeah, and Juliano, had he just cast Tarmogoyf on this turn, he could have just blocked the Kitchen Finks.
Instead of going for the kill spell, yeah,
Right.
Playing as a blocker
Yeah,
would
the
work.
Seal of Fire was pretty aggressive, I think.
Well, but I understand it from Juliano's side. You can think, there's if he's got a Vines, when you see that Barich plays out, I think in some way Barich making that misstep helped him. Because if you say, hey, Barich played out a Blighted Agent,